Pullman Park in Takanini, South Auckland, all set for finals day of the 2018 NZRL National Secondary Schools Tournament. This is where the stars are made and discovered. There have been plenty of scouts around from NRL teams in the past week, and it does promise once again to be an exciting day where there are two finals, the development final and of course the Premier Grade final. Hello folks, Stephen McCarver joined by two former rugby league schoolboys from De La Salle College, they're now GM of high performance at the NZRL, Motutoni, and former Masterland College and former Warriors skipper in the form of Monty Beetham. And Mons, this is a place where stars are made, and none bigger than one right now who plays tomorrow night for the Warriors.
Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, he is an absolute star and probably the premier player amongst all the players, Australian or not. And I think this is where it started and this is where he came from. So if you think about the big stage, the opportunity now for these boys to do so, much like Roger, is their chance. Now, Tony, from high performance point of view, what are you looking for?
We're looking for the thinkers, you know. We've been blessed with so many physical beasts that play our game, but now we're looking for the game managers, and hopefully we'll find them during this tournament.
That sounds like a real change in focus from the NZRL.
It is a change in focus because when we play Australia, they seem to have us in the halves and the spine, so that's why we're really making an emphasis on these positions.
All right, well, we're looking forward to talking to Motu about his new job a little bit later on, but let's just remind you what is on today. Two very good finals. First up, it will be the development final, and this will be Howick College, coached by their principal in the form of Iva Ropati against Onehunga High, and then it's St Paul's College, yes, they've won this many times, against Kelson Boys. No Southern Cross College, no two-time defending champions. So why don't we remind you about Southern Cross's run and the final against Kelson Boys in 2017.
This is a rematch of last year's final. Well, the Southern Cross team are running the ball early, and away goes Schwelger. Oh, check that out from Fui Schwelger. Now to Lahinoa. Now it's Whakatamafi again. Here is Paya. Fortu on the outside. Fortu, that's a great kick. And it's going to sit up, and there is a try. Visiti Lia. We've got damaging runners everywhere, haven't they? Southern Cross. Nati. Oh, that's a clever kick. That was a set play. Good work out. Oh, no way. Fortu is in the score. Southern Cross are going to score again. Oh, it's a hat-trick. Here goes Southern Cross again. Oh, the bounce is perfect. The bounce is perfect, and Kairo's gone in. Halatanu is going to play the ball. There's a chip kick through again. It's another try. And there it is. It's going to be Southern Cross campus. Second title in succession, and they win the National Secondary Schools Rugby League Championship. 44-0 the final score against Kelston.
Surprisingly though, no Southern Cross campus in the final this year. The former College of Ken Mamalo fronting for the Warriors against the Panthers tomorrow night. Don't forget our big build-up includes the women's game against the Roosters before that. I'm joined by David McMeekin, the talent identification manager for the New Zealand Rugby League. A couple of scores popped up results-wise this year that made me think things are growing in the Rugby League world. Manakura from Palmerston North, what's going on there?
I think with Manakura and some of the other schools around the country, some change in personnel in terms of the coaching staff, some good coach pathways coming along the way as well, coach development, good man management for some of the players, especially in Manakura, Kerry Ranganui and Brooklyn Hedawini, some players who have come through our pathways, sort of directing those teams around the game.
It was hard not to miss the results of Rotorua Boys High. Caesar James and this young kid Celestino, top try scorer. What's going on at Rotorua?
Rotorua again, new coach come in, so Alex Parker moved over from Tauranga Boys High. He's previously been involved with the Cowboys over in Australia, come over and sort of reinvigorated the league scene over there. Plenty of league kids there, but just sort of tapped into a new coaching personnel.
And about 20 minutes ago it finished here, a women's demonstration game, a young ladies demonstration game. Sir Edmund Hillary up against Aoreri. Sir Edmund too strong, 66-0. But this is encouraging, particularly when we've got the women Warriors playing the Roosters tomorrow. The growth of the women's game.
It's probably the largest growth in our game at the moment, the girls and the women's game. So the exposure that the girls are going to get over the next couple of weeks with the women's, with Louis fronting that, with the Warriors, But probably just one special mention is Waikato 15s and 17s are playing Auckland Vulcans tomorrow down at Patterson Park in Ngaruawahia. So again, just showcasing the representative football that we have for these girls.
Is there a growing hunger for young women to want to play rugby league?
Yeah, most definitely. I think with the Warriors women team coming up, and that's only going to grow, and more NRL teams putting their hand up there, I think it's the girls are going to go from a grassroots space into a semi-professional, professional era in the next couple of years.
Teams aren't too far away from the development final. Howick up against Onehunga High. When you look across the talent that you've seen over the past week, how much better is it getting? And are you seeing changes in the way the game is being played at this level?
I think the change in play is fairly similar, but some of the players that we're recognising coming from the club scene through our talent pathways, those players are putting their hands up when they come into these tournaments, and you can really see them shining as but it's still hard to name a tournament team with the talent on display, and that probably goes down to show the first couple of days just how many talent scouts are here and club recruitment officers as well.
It's always a busy time, always good to have you here, David Meekin, the talent identification manager for the New Zealand Rugby League. Okay, game number 1 is just about set to go. It's Howick College up against Onehunga High, and the call from Motu Tony and our very own commentary Kaumatua. Kia ora, Dale, husband.
Barolale today. It's it's Tongan Language Week, and so just acknowledging the many Tongan people who play our game. Thank you, Stephen, and thank you to you wherever you're watching coverage of the National Secondary Schools Finals. It really is a special day of rugby league because it not only celebrates the efforts of our young athletes at school, but also there are opportunities here to springboard, as has been discussed in the build-up to the game, of opportunities to maybe force your way into a trial for one of the big clubs. It's great to be working alongside Motu Tony as well, 13 years in the UK and now back home as the high performance manager for NZRL. Motu, it's a pleasure to be beside you today and looking forward very much to what we see on the field and also working with you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to it too. With the school program, the school tournament this week, it's been great to see the young people play our game, so I'm looking forward to this game.
We did go back with Ivar Ropati some time as well. Ivar, of course, is the principal at Howick College. Not traditionally known for rugby league, but heck, there's some enthusiasm there, and he has snapped onto it as we see the Howick College lineup today. The number 6 is your skipper, Roberts, and then Staples, Morrison, Pamatato, and Andrews making up the back line. Fa'alala, Higdit Morgan, Tulaki Brown, Piho Alapaki, your forwards today, with an interesting looking bench as well. Ivar is coaching and of course plenty of experience there from the former international and Warrior.
Yeah, it's great to have Ivar involved in the game today, and the Ropati name is synonymous with the Kiwi jersey and rugby league in New Zealand, so it's great to have his involvement, but also to see Howick involved in this final too, because Howick's not a traditionally rugby league related school or area, so it's great that they're involved in this game today.
And this is the Onehunga High School lineup. Again, the number 6 is your skipper today, Liu Chan. And we're about to get underway. Onehunga will be playing from our right to left from the commentary position, likewise for you at home. Thanks very much for joining us. And let's hope we unearth some super talent. 25 minutes each way. Kevin Ken is in control here today. And Shaw Richardson in assistance. It's the culmination of a week of wonderful rugby league, and it's an annual tourney staged here in Takanini for some years now. The facilities are right. We'll talk of players who made the tournament team as well. Decent old wind coming in through Auckland today, and it's coming towards the commentary position. So it'll be interesting to see how the kicking game unfolds from both teams. The ground in absolutely fantastic condition here as the big number 13 lines up to kick off Onehunga. This is Manasio Fial. As we await the development final here of the 2018 National Secondary Schools Rugby League Championship, coming to you live on Sky Sport, proudly made here, we go, boys. Here and only here in New Zealand.
How we got? Here we go, boys.
So we're underway. Obviously, in all games of league, important to just settle down early, but there'll be plenty of nerves for these two teams not used to playing in finals football, Motu.
Yes, the first tackle is always important, and the first run too, just to get a feel for the game. So, you know, that's the advice we can give these young men playing today, is just to get your hands on the ball or get involved early, just to get those nerves out of the way.
A couple of big units getting involved early on too. The big prop forward is Tūraki. The back row up, back on the inside for David Falala. And peeling out a dummy half is Hignett. Darius Hignett, I might add too. On the 30-metre line now with Howick. Changing angles. Nui Andrews gets a little kick over the top. It'll be fielded in at the back by Tauilo. And the fullback safely contains the football for Onehunga High School. He's on his 10-metre line.
Yeah, good first set by Howick College here. They got to their kick, and now they're putting a lot of pressure on Onehunga coming out of their red zone.
So just 15 metres from the line, you might hear the wind howling through some of our microphones dotted around the ground. It will be an issue through the course of the afternoon. And Stephen mentioned in the build-up coming up too, St Paul's against Council. That'll be a humdinger. And we'll bring the students from around the country out in numbers. Onehunga with the ball now 5 metres short of the halfway. Just building some momentum and looking to control the set.
Let him up now. Keep pushing.
Of course, Marcellin College, where Motu and Monster went as well. History for rugby league at that proud school. Well taken at the back here. This is Thomas Staples, who's playing in the fullback position for Howard. The East Aucklanders have the ball now 15 short of the halfway.
Nice solid start from both teams there, though, both getting to their kicks. And I think for a day like this, it's going to be low and hard if you're a kicker. Get it out of the wind and try and get as much field in position as possible.
Release him now.
On the 40-metre line for Howick. Been impressed already with Hignett Morgan and his runs. He's 30 metres out from the try line. A little slow to get up and play the ball this time around, though. Must have taken a bit of a whack down the short side. Come Howick, good play. Great offload, but sadly couldn't be taken on the far side of the field, and we will pack down a scrum. Onehunga feed 15 metres from their own line.
There was a nice attacking play there by Dre Roberts, taking down the short side. Usually you get your big men just taking a little bit of a breather down that short side, so nice play by Dre Roberts.
The two number 6 is always a good position really for captaincy, and I suppose you can endorse that.
Yeah, it's a great challenge, you know, Dre Roberts against Junior Liu Chan, so I'm really looking forward to that battle.
Get it.
Now set.
Now, ball in now.
Of course, Onehunga High School, coached by Anuru Wansit. It's good to see ex-players as well in the coaching ranks. Dave McDermott, who's tasted success with Kelson before, coaching in the next game, and alongside Francis Melly, a name familiar with many. And of course, league on a bit of a high this weekend as well, as we can imagine.
Go to one marker.
Fantastic weekend of rugby league ahead for us, and also just the news that we, that we managed to put out this week with, Mati Matonga playing Australia the week after the Kiwis triple header. So hopefully everybody can get down to Mount Smart on October the 13th.
It's going to really rock, isn't it? Red and white, you can bet on it. Such an amazing experience in the semi-final of the World Cup against England. I thought you'll never see a repeat of that, Motu, because never before, or never again, are you likely to get two teams in red and white. The Mount Smart Stadium looked amazing as you see the chip over the top. Staples reads it pretty well at the back too, Thomas. Good chase on too by Liu Chen. Makes the tackle on him.
I like Thomas Staples' headgear there. He really stands out, and he's been really solid at the fullback to start with, so well done to the young man.
Well, if you're looking for scouts, it's often good to stand out. So headgear, rings, laces, try what you will.
Yes, that's it. And the other sort of pressure that goes with it, you've got to be very good to wear those sort of things. So the young man's done fantastically so far.
Howick in possession. Tight, as you'd imagine, in a final. There's a kick, an awkward one too for the wing. He takes it skillfully, Daniel Tamotu. Good chase on him. Francis Morrison makes the tackle. 10 metres in from what would be the eastern touchline here. The ground running north-south at Bruce Pullman Park. Must again commend the ground staff, the field in absolutely fantastic condition. This is the man everyone's talking of, the skipper. A darting run sees him to ground.
Great run by Junior Liu Chan there, and I think there's going to be opportunities to do that throughout the game because they're tiring bodies from a whole week of rugby league.
it's been a big ask on these young players. Must acknowledge ACC have been very involved as well in ensuring that they have the right warm downs and the like. A penalty, the first of the afternoon. Took a little while to come in through too. That's for Onehunga. Kickable if they want it. Let's have a look how it came to be.
Quick play of the ball there. And Hiva takes off from dummy half, knocks it on, but the ref has called that there was a lazy body in the ruck there, so he's given a penalty.
Not opting for the kick. This is Shilamwe on the 10-metre line. Onehunga looking in good. Whinianga Nafo is the hooker today. This is Salala. Little mistake there from Onehunga. Bitinoia Salala.
Yeah, Onehunga's let Howick off the hook there. We're going to pack the scrum and see what Howick can come up with, because we've seen a lot of attacking plays from scrums throughout this tournament, so we'll see what Howick can do from the scrum.
Rupati had a stellar career as a professional athlete, long-time educator. It was at One Tree Hill College prior to his appointment in East Auckland. He's been at the Kura now maybe 10 years or so. Great to see them represented here proudly in their red, white and black strip. Is the wind-up for the big men. Steady as they go too, as they push forward to just outside the 20-metre line. Howick in possession. This is for Lala. Quick dummy half. Run from Hignett Morgan.
I've been impressed by the ruck defence of both teams here. They're getting numbers in the tackle and slowing the play the ball down, which is sort of taking the number 9s out of the game so far. I'm sure it will open up as the game progresses.
Dubo Pio carted forward. 6 or 7 metres inside Howick's half. As the kick comes across, and they'll restart it on the 40-metre line. High quality start to this development game. And of course, success here would give some impetus to joining the main draw for season 2019. Francis Morrison is wrapped up. The big 18, Tūraki. Māori cover Tūraki to the 20-metre line now. Threatening here for Howick. The back rower gets it, pushes it on to Roberts. He's been good already. Great tackle over the top now. As ambitious use of the ball here from Howick. They're very much a threat here. And turn and face or suffer the consequences. Onehunga survived but late.
Number 11.
I like the way Howick has set up their plays there. They set up a nice structure where a front row went up and turned the ball behind to a backdoor runner and isolated some players out there on the left edge. So attacking shape for Howick looks really good.
Settler for the second row. This is Jaden Brown. He's only 5 metres out from the try line. Good chance here for Howick. Tackle number 2 on the set, and the commentator's curse, of course, to ground there. Of Yore Alapaki puts it to ground, and Onehunga get the scrum feed right in front of their posts.
Yes, we mentioned earlier that Onehunga let Howick off the hook, and now they've returned favour and return serve, and Howick's let Onehunga off the hook themselves. But in pool play, Onehunga beat Howick. They beat them 16-12. So we'll see if Howick can return the favour to Onehunga here.
Ball in now.
So excitement aplenty. To say kia ora to all the connections to these young guys.
Thank you.
Of course, their education important. There's a lot of support for families for it. But also a lot of bragging rights in the old rugby league community when you're a teenager. These guys meet up with each other in club footy. Good wall of defence here from Howick. So they've got well-structured defensive patterns at the moment.
Take it back 2.
The referee asking them to back up. No score so far in the development final as we come up to 10 minutes, 25-minute halves.
I'd like to give a quick mention to the referee, the man in the middle, the man wearing pink, Kevin Ken, who was voted the tournament referee at our awards dinner yesterday. So well done to Kevin, and so far he's had a good start himself.
Peeling away from dummy half. I like those runs too. They quick to look up, and Eva Whinianga Nafo has a couple of metres inside now Howick's half. No real benefit wind-wise in the turnover now for the East Aucklanders, who have the ball just a few metres their side of halfway. It's been very impressive. Darius Hignett Morgan, the number 9 for Howick.
Up now, boys.
David Falala's made some right charges, you know, early on in the game. So look for that to continue. He's a big boy and he's making some huge yardage in the middle there.
Tupo Piho to play it on the 30. Down the right-hand side they come, holding up the pass nicely. And popping it in, a little bit of a hospital pass as it ended up. Francis Morrison wrapped up by Ta Motu from Onehunga. Now back to Piho. 18 metres out, centre field. Great opportunity again, starting to loom for Howick. Through the hands of Roberts this time. Nice ball out to Staples, out wide. And that was a good read coming in off the right wing to shut down the 17 who was threatening. That's Harewi. Now, Howick looked to thread the needle. Might get it back. A knock on by Onehunga. It's a clever play from Howick.
We've seen quite early that Howick fancy their left side through Joy Roberts. So I think that's their money, the money side that they're going to go to when they get an opportunity near the Onehunga try line.
He does appear to be the go-to man, doesn't he? He's got all the tricks in the book.
I think both sixes are looking like the go-to men for both teams.
Let's go, boys.
So it's a nice battle, one
boys.
that I'm looking forward to developing.
Let's go, second
It's great to see New Zealand Rugby League really active. And I know that we're going to see more games from the top side, but this tournament has really been a breeding ground for some superb talent, as we see the step on the inside there.
Up now,
wrapped up, Morrison tackled nicely. Here he goes again. This is Darius out of dummy half. Hignett Morgan's his surname, because he celebrates that champion player out of Brisbane. Darius, not a bad handle for him. Piho's wrapped up, and here he is having a go and self-spinning for the 4-pointer. He's been smart already in the first 10 minutes, Hignett Morgan. And he's in for Howard College, first to score in this development final.
He's been fantastic to start with. He's been scheming and he's been roaming and just looking for those opportunities. And as a former hooker, there's nothing that brings more pleasure than getting those tries close to the line.
And for a coach killer, really, these are the ones you train for. They're deemed soft tries, but there's a little bit of work for Darius there, close to the line. And he spun himself and was able to roll across the top of the defenders.
Yes, I think Anaru Watson, the coach for Onehunga, will be really disappointed with their online defence there from Onehunga, because in the try line defence, that's the first area that you tighten up around the play the ball. But they were exposed there, and 4 points as a result, and maybe 6.
Should be 6. Bit of wind around shore. No problem for Nui Andrews. 6-0. It's Howick after 13 minutes here in the development grade final. The National Secondary Schools Rugby League competition from South Auckland. And a great start here for a newish school into the competition. We've had some testy weather conditions across the last few days here in Auckland. Which way, bro?
Been a typical Auckland weather week, and you know, we've got limited clouds up at the moment, but you never know in Auckland, so we expect anything and everything. And we've just seen Tomasi Taufoa run onto the field for Onehunga, and he's a big boy, so look out for him.
When you think of Simon Mannering, discovered in the national tournament in Wellington as an 18-year-old, and then soon after was welcomed into the Orcas junior squad. Not long after that, he found his way to Auckland, and of course that wonderful career unfolded from there. Obviously, Tuivasa Shek is one that just a few years ago, he was the captain of the Otahuhu squad and picked up by the Roosters. There are a number of players here who are actually already in the spotlight as far as their potential is concerned. The Warriors in the mix. Scouts from Australia are here as well today.
Okay, away now!
Might unearth some super talent.
Well done, mate. Well done.
And that's why it's so important for New Zealand Rugby League to hold these tournaments, because Simon's come from outside of Auckland and the career speaks for itself. You know, for the first person to play 300 games, just an amazing achievement from Simon.
And in his humble way, when interviewed at the Warriors prize giving, you know, mentioned how important education is to him, and what he thinks that young players should focus on more to. While you're working on high performance, admittedly, that's looking at the physical attributes of a player. A rounded personality is very important in sport, and so a lot of these guys also have their heads in the books before they pull on their boots.
Let's go, boys.
Yeah,
let's go,
for sure. And Simon was a roommate of mine in 2006 for the Kiwis, and the career that he's gone to have doesn't surprise me. The only thing that did surprise me was his taste in music, heavy metal. So I'm glad we didn't room together too long, because I didn't take to that music quite well.
Yeah, he likes a bit of that thumping stuff, doesn't he? I don't mind a bit of it myself, actually. As we see Onehunga now trying to respond. And they're in good field position this time through the big second row. And he's a big guy too, so Lala. Here he comes, winding up his foul. Good run from him. And they're well set now, Onehunga. Can they counteract this try that was scored against him a few moments ago? Here he is, the hot stepper and the skipper. He tries to get the ball away. He thought it was good. Referee says it wasn't. A disappointment there for Junior Liu Chan.
Carrying it in one hand.
He's got something going on in this game or two.
Yes, Junior Liu Chan's got the footwork. He's got the skills with the ball in hand. What we need from Onehunga is just to set up a little bit better. You can see the contrast in the attacking place near the try line. Howick a lot more organised and structured. Where Onehunga, they're relying on individual efforts to try and pierce that Howick line.
Feels like you've been in the commentary position half your life, Motu Tony.
I'm a rugby league tragic, so I commentate games when I'm on the armchair, so I prefer it to be up here than actually playing. It's a lot harder when you're playing because you have to do the training.
A lot of players look forward to careers outside of the game. You have been an administrator in the code both in England and now in New Zealand. What is it that keeps you interested at this stage of your life, Motu?
I just love the game and what the game of rugby league has done for me, so that's why I'm interested in, and that's why I love watching these young men, because I know what the game can do for them if they stay committed to the game, they respect it, and also if they have fun as well. I've been fortunate to play with some of my heroes, and that was because of rugby league, so that's why I enjoy being involved in the game to this day.
Good on you. Looking forward to seeing some of the initiatives you advance to in your new role, as we see Onehunga with the ball and cross field on a bit of a settling run really for the 14 from Onehunga. Just getting a handle on some of these players, and here's a half break.
Let him up, he's earned some points! Here!
OHS. HC might be the tag we use for Howick College.
Yes.
That's the third there, boys. Here.
Onehunga are no strangers to this final too. They won this final, the development final, in 2016, so they've been here before. At the moment, the momentum's with Howick. Better rugby leagues come from Howick, but the game of rugby league's a long one, so we'll see how it unfolds.
6-0 scoreline, 17 gone. It's been a good quality game here now. This is Tasi Wayne Leilua. And he pops the pass up late. Doesn't really advantage his teammate who's down now. Midway, 20 and 30. 8C's into the ground. Now for Liu Chan, he'll get the kick in over the top. It's heading towards the end goal, but ends up over the touchline. And they'll back it up to the 10-metre line. 8C scrum feed.
That was a nice option by Liu Chan there. He put a beautiful kick in there, well weighted, just unlucky that it went out, but you had Daniel Tamotu chasing that kick down. So unlucky, but well rehearsed and well played there.
On the whistle back.
Plenty of interest here, but you can see by the cars that have lined up. Schools from across the country have been here through the week. It's quite a logistical challenge year in and year out, but New Zealand Rugby League has done a fine job with this tournament. Used to move around a little bit more too, but obviously you've got accommodation opportunities here and transport to and from. So the Big Smoke seems to be the appropriate place at this stage anyway to stage this annual tournament.
Yes, for sure. The team led by our football operations manager, Sean Iwikau, has done a fantastic job, and it's been fantastic to see teams like Manawatu College turn up, and even from Christchurch. So we need to spread the rugby league message and the gospel of rugby league so more teams turn up and play.
There's a chance on the far side for Onehunga, and they're in the corner. The dive for the line. Let's just check where the touchy went to. This is Sione Vaiotu.
Great finish there from Sione Vaiotu there. Great offload from his centre partner too.
I think that was Caden Charlie with the try assist. As we get another look, it was a very late pass right into the corner. And some defence moving across to try and nullify the attack. Great little offload as well.
Chase Pamamatau there just got caught out a little bit there, and good centre play. He found his winger, and his winger was able to finish there. So great finishing there from from Sione Vaiotu.
Yeah, good one, and well, I guess inspired by David Fisitua's exploits, and nowadays the athleticism. It's sheer brilliance really when you see how athletes are able to get the ball down and dive through the air. And while we're at it, big ups to David Fusitua. That's a great tohu for him, or a taonga for him to be named NRL try scorer of the year. 22 tries, and hopefully a couple more coming up on Saturday night as well.
Yes, well deserved, and he's been fantastic this year. And talking about David Fusitua, someone that he equaled his try scoring record, you mentioned earlier, Francis Melly will be involved in the game later this afternoon as the head coach of Kelston. So it's great to have these wingers show their skills, and also the NRL for taking the initiative to change the rules and get the corner flag sort of implemented into the game. So if you touch it, you're not out. So that's what's created this high flying acrobatic winger when they score tries.
And the fans love it, I do too. There's our young men, our leaders of tomorrow, footballers and fathers of tomorrow. And the camaraderie involved here in high school sport undeniable, as we see a 6-4 scoreline now with just on 4 minutes or so to play in the first half. High quality here in the first 25 minutes.
Has been high quality, and you can also see the contrast in styles. You got Howick, who play structured, well-manufactured football, where Onehunga rely on individual brilliance, and they also have an offloading game, which is helping their game at the moment.
Release him there, boys, for the third.
Dummy half work for Whineanga Norfolk. Has a quick look to the left-hand side, decides to go to one of the heavy hitters. He slipped slightly on the surface as he approached the defensive line, but he's quick to get up and play the ball. To the right, and nice little pass as well. Amatatau has been very good. A couple of good things in the last 5 or 6 minutes from him.
He's really come on as the game's progressed. So if I was the halves for Onehunga, I'll be trying to get him as much ball as possible.
No. That's your final. Sorry, my bad.
Apologies, actually, from Tatau across in the HC squad. So giving credit to the wrong man, I think, as we see the kick. It's high. Is it handsome?
Backwards, play on! Same again, that was the final level we just played over there.
Turnover here for Onehunga.
Oh, sorry.
Bit of heavy breathing. As Motu mentioned, a lot of these guys have played a lot of football through the week.
Here, boys. 2 markers.
On their back, loyalty and courage. The catch cry of Onehunga High.
Wait for it, go.
Howick having possession now. Too lucky once again with the setting run. He's wrapped up on the 40-metre line.
Go. Release him now. Well done, boys. 2.
Dre Roberts has his hand in most things. This is Alapaki.
Howick setting up for a big play here on their right. Looks like the ball's coming out to their halfback, New Andrews.
And this is a good run again, nullified by the tackle by Caden Charlie.
Yes, nice set up there. Nice line by Francis Morrison. They're hitting a tight line. Those are the ones that are always tough to run, because most of the time you're going to get smashed when you run them. But Francis Morrison took his medicine there and played the ball.
Here's Howick, looking threatening here. Roberts again. That one's been batted down. Play on. Howick still 10 metres out from the try line, looking for try number 2.
Release him now! 1.
Up to his feet. Roberts. Danger time for Onehunga. They'll have to concentrate. This man surging towards the line. He's held up in the last moment, Jaden Brown. Quick ball out to Alapaki. He'll keep it alive for Andrews. Andrews holding up now. Out wide and out to Morrison. Morrison for the line. And Morrison's over the line. Can he get the ball down, though? The answer to that is obvious. And that is not great line defence from Onehunga High School.
Great defence, great attacking play too. So both these teams are really stepping up to the mark at the moment.
That's 4.
New Andrews. And now will they hold back? Too lucky. Great defence here by the green and black and red of Onehunga High School. Morrison steps back into traffic, pops the pass out to Andrews. He's across and in to score. Well, he's claiming it. Do we get some confirmation here?
I think he's got that down, Dale. What do you think?
Well, at first glance, I thought yes.
Number 5.
Yeah, it was placed on his foot.
Yep,
Yeah,
so hard up on the 5th, hand over. Sweet boys.
Well, there we are, there's the answer. The
up, boys.
placed on his foot.
Over there.
Yes, the official saying it's on his foot, so well done there, good defence.
Half time.
Half-time here in the development final of the National Secondary Schools Rugby League competition from Bruce Pullman Park in Papakura. And a good game is in front of us here. Hope you're enjoying it at home at the moment too. It's Howick College who lead Onehunga High School 6-4. Well, it was pretty straightforward as it turns out here for one of the stars of that first half performance, the number 9 from Howick College, who was across the score, Darius Hignett-Morgan. He'd been threatening, causing issues as well for Onehunga High School, and then the try out wide later in the half for Vaiotu.
Yes, that was great play from Tony Teolilo, who set up his wing there. Great finish and get in the corner.
Lots to like about the attitude these two teams are taking into the game today. There's a nice shot of Bruce Pullman Park with the facilities here that have been well utilised throughout the past week. These two proud schools, one of them has been here before, but for Howick College, an outstanding effort to make it into the development final, and up by 2 at the half-time break. They'll be buzzing at the thought of maybe taking out this development grade, and what a feather in the cap it'll be for the East Aucklanders if they're able to achieve that in the next 25 minutes.
Yes, for sure. And Howick sort of boomed as an area of rugby league there. Great to see a former Kiwi and Warriors legend there, and Richie Blackmore, who spent considerable time in the UK as well. But Howick's been a boom area for rugby league, and also their side has been very good in the Fox Memorial this season, Dale. So it's great to see Howick College, sort of keeping up that momentum as well.
And dovetailing really off that, thank you for mentioning the Hornets season. They were just a desperate few moments away from making the grand final. Won, of course, by Point Chevalier in a 6-0 result in the Fox Memorial Championship. But that's not what we're talking about today. It's our young men who are on display. And big ups to New Zealand League, who've also been featuring a young ladies competition as well. Rangatahi Wahine, an under-9s comp, which has been well enjoyed by the teams that participated in it as well. So 6-4 the scoreline at the half-time break. Let's see how it can unfold in front of us in the next little while. Just waiting for the wave on,
Okay, boys,
and all is well.
Time you're on, boys, time you're on. Here we go.
25 minutes of footy left here in the development final, and there is a mistake straight away from Onehunga. And will give a great opportunity for Howick. They'll pack it down on the 10-metre line, and a full set at their disposal here to threaten Onehunga early on in the second half.
Yes, not a great start there from MJ Meti and Onehunga. So they're going to have to absorb the pressure here that Howick will throw to them. Those are also not the things that coaches like to see, especially straight after half time. So we'll see what Howick can throw at them, because they've shown some great signs with their attacking plays in the first half.
Out!
Peeling off the back is Alopaki, who gets it for Andrews, and Andrews holds on to the ball, tries to get around Chan. Been effective on attack and defence. This is danger time, a little bit of a dummy. It feels as though Howick are in with a big opportunity. That ball's gone down and backwards. It's okay, play on. The red and whites still have it. Tūraki
I've been impressed with Turaki Dale since he's come on. He's really punched the line, and he takes some in to stop him because he's a big boy.
Alapaki again out there for Roberts. Roberts keeps it alive, and 17 has been effective out wide. Howick. He's been doing some good work, Wee.
Great defense there from Sione Vaiotu there, coming in to shut it down because they were in trouble if he didn't make that tackle.
And indeed, so did Leilua. Had to make the tackle there on Jaden Brown when he hauled it forward. Now it's Alapaki again featuring prominently. Now it's out for Andrews. Andrews wide for Staples, who comes in from the fullback position. In the end, pretty good line defence from Onehunga have been tested well. And they've responded well on D as well. But there is the charge to the line, and there is no stopping Yorda Alapaki. Great build-up, all stemmed off a mistake from the kickoff. And Onehunga are in for try number 2.
Yes, great finish by Alapaki there. He just hit a line by the post there, and he's fantastic. Just on the spot there, we had a player cross field, and Alapaki saw the gap and hit it, and under the post, 4 points.
And this should be a straightforward one, and we'll be looking at a 12-4 scoreline. But that was good lead-up play, really, and the back rower certainly has been getting involved plenty. I've been very impressed with the work of Andrew. Staples chiming in as well. Well drilled at the moment, and big ups to Iva Ropati, who's coaching, and of course overseeing the school out in Howick.
Just before Alapaki hit that line there and scored the try, I was going to say that Howick were a bit too guilty of going side to side without doing the work in the middle first. And then luckily Alapaki's managed to hit that hole and get themselves 4 points. So for Howick, they just need to do more work down the middle, earn the right to play, you know, the expansive rugby, because you've got to make the inroads through the middle first before you can go out wide and create some opportunities.
You know, sometimes young players think, well, my role here is not as important as the flashy guys, the guys who pop passes and hot step, but really those forwards who just make some decent ground, go down on their haunches, perhaps facing forward rather than on their backs, get up for a quick play of the ball. As you say, they set the platform for those wider out to be able to be a little bit more flamboyant. Yes. But the graft has to be done in the middle.
Yes, definitely. You know, if you can do some work in the middle of the field, it just draws in all the outside defenders and, well, creating more space for your men that you got out wide. So that's why the work of the middlemen in the middle is so important.
12-4 scoreline now. Onehunga. About to get underway.
When you're ready, mate. When you're ready.
Of course, Onehunga High School used to be in Manukau. Manukau Road, Royal Oak, you know, and so the whole area used to be known as Manukau. We had a proud rugby league club there too. Manukau Green Lane. Yes. Of course, many years later, they set up next to the motorway there, what used to be sheep paddocks, to be honest, now Manukau City.
Auckland's changed in a long time. They all have been out of the country for 13 and a half years, so everything's new to me at the moment.
Very nice to let our viewers know too that Motu went away, just him and his wahine there, go and look at the big wide world of rugby league in Britain. Came back with 5 kids, so something must have worked well for you, mate.
We're typical Samoans. That's what a normal Samoan number for children is.
It's nice to see guys with big families. So, Howick still with the ball, and this time the number 4, that's Mosese Wakabata. Mosese, another kick. Now that's okay so far. Does he reel it in? No, he does. It's another little mistake in an area that creates vulnerability. And it will be Howick who'll feed it on the 10-metre line.
Yeah, it's great play by Dre Roberts there. Dre Roberts is controlling the game nicely, and I think the halftime break was good because it probably allowed Iva Ropati there just to talk to his halves and say, look, this is what we're expecting from you. Let's use the wind. Let's put pressure on the wingers for Onehunga and kick him behind him, and that's what they've been doing early in the game.
Let's go, boys.
Dre Roberts to feed the scrum. Get a feeling that it's going to be difficult for Onehunga to hold this team out. They're just really high on emotions. Momentum is with them. Staples is good with his double around here, and Andrews across field goes the nippy little halfback. Quickly to his feet, 10 in from the western touchline. Showing the skillful sidestepping moves is Francis Morrison. Good hands.
They got numbers out here, Dale.
Brown.
Oh.
And that was touched by Onehunga again, so they'll play it on again. Thomas Staples gets hold of the football and manhandled. Onehunga under the microscope now. They're really putting it to them, Howick College. This time it's Jaden Brown.
Siona Vaiotu there for Onehunga has come up with 2 try-saving tackles early in the second half here, Dale.
And the 4, I think, berated here by the referee for a shoulder charge, it would seem. So Howick is Wakabava. Through Roberts. Alapaki. And now Turaki. Upended in the tackle. Onehunga spirited in their approach. They're certainly not going to say, die this mob. And that tackle was superb. Gee, there's been a lot of penalties at the moment, though.
As the game goes on, fatigue's starting to increase, and that's why we're seeing a lot of little errors from both sides, but also penalties.
Well, they'll be doing well if they're able to survive this attacking raid. Tuduki is another charging run.
Okay, together now.
Māori Carver Tudaki, I should say. And now for Hignett Morgan. Bullet pass out for Roberts. He'll hold it, he'll step it, he'll go himself. He can see it, he can score it.
Roberts.
He's one of the best on field, the skipper. And this time makes no mistake.
We mentioned him early in the game as the go-to man for Howick there, and he's shown that he is. He started the second half greatly with the kick in behind the wingers and putting them under pressure, which has got them the field position to attack and ultimately to a try for himself.
Well, it's the spin in defence, isn't it? And he always was confident. Very cleverly achieved here by Drew Roberts. He's got quite a few strings to his bow. Quite a decent skill set as well. He's got a neat build and maybe even neater headgear.
He's got a nice neat headgear actually, and earlier in the broadcast I mentioned from New Zealand Rugby League, we're looking at the decision makers now, we're looking at the spine players, because it's a nice problem to have, but we've been blessed with so many physical big boys that we've had for a long time now, and now it's the time to just work on these spine players, decision makers, and Dre Roberts is showing us that he is one of those decision makers that we're looking for.
Well, you need thinkers, don't you, students of the game, and often it's left to the 6 and 7. Have you ever noticed how many turn to coaching? And it's no surprise really, some of the smaller guys in the game, because they have to study, they're looking at clocks, at fatigue, all these aspects that need consideration through the course of the game. And of course, it should come as no surprise that both the Sixers actually the captains in this hit out today as well. Well, close range, bit of a wry smile on the young bloke there, said, oh no, my mates are going to give it to me now.
Louis Andrews there, yes, he is going to copy from his teammates, because those are the ones you should be able to throw over.
Absolutely. He was kicking into the wind, so we'll defend him in that regard.
Same way, mate.
Big ups to the management and the water runners. You know, it's a big sacrifice that many make. There's your try scorer, Drew Roberts.
Time around,
Dre Roberts, I should say. That's him again, he just offloads.
Up now!
Wangabava. So Howick can control here by 16 to 4. Really, Onehunga have had little ball in the second half at all.
Howick just controlled the game since that kickoff when Onehunga dropped the ball, and Onehunga just haven't been able to get their hands on the football. And all Howick have done is just control possession and get to their kicks.
But hats off to them, that's what it's all about. They're looking at the conditions and they're playing a structured game. It is factoring in both the wind and field position. And here we go again, and it's Dre Roberts.
Dre Roberts just turning the screws here on Onehunga. I like the way this young man's playing, you know. Second half, he's probably thinking the Onehunga forwards are probably tired. They've played a whole week of rugby league, and this is where I can get my hands on the ball and start running, because these guys have had a lot of rugby. So smart play from Dre Roberts.
NCAA level 3 in rugby league.
Very smart for a person from Howick too.
Lovely stuff from him. We're really enjoying seeing these burgeoning skills among our young football players of tomorrow. 16-4, 10, 11 minutes gone in the second half. This is the development final, if you just tuned in. The National Secondary Schools Rugby League tourney wrapping up today out here at Bruce Pullman Park in South Auckland. Some say Takanini, others say Papakura. It matters little. What we're seeing is a good game of football, played in good spirit too, I might add. I've seen nothing untoward so far in the game.
No, it's been a great week so far, and you've got to give, you know, all these young men a lot of credit for just the football that has been played, the rugby league that has been played, because they've played some tough games, and you see by the size of the boys that are playing today, none of them are that small. So they've had some physical rugby, and for them to still turn up and perform the way they are is a credit to them, their schools too, as well as their coaches.
I hope the connections of these players are, hope you're enjoying the game. Here's the big number 8, David Falala. Manages to get across to his other big unit, the Popo, or the bookends they're called sometimes, Māori Kava Tūraki. Number 3 is Francis Morrison. He had a strong game as well. Here he is again, Dre Roberts. Thorn on the side for Onehunga at the moment. Out wide and out to Pamatato. Forward pass. One thing about the supporters as well of high school football, you know, they're really vocal and enthusiastic. And I guess as such, you know, sometimes we lose a little bit of that magic as we grow older. But great to see the supporters really enjoying this as well. Mutu.
And I think that's why this week's been so great, because this is your school, you know, you're there every day. And guys are so proud of their school, and that's what this tournament has given them, the opportunity to use their school to be tribalistic that, you know, these young men won't have, because club football is different. You know, when you represent your school, you're there every day. So that's what's been a great opportunity for these young men.
But on principles, there's been some hesitancy. We don't need to go into the politics of it all about schools playing rugby league. But of course, for those of you who might be principals watching from around the country, just have a look how much they're enjoying the sport. It's certainly well-run tournament. Safety is a priority, but really developing character and skill sets is what this is all about. Nice run, and a very important one too. This is Metanoia Solala. So Solala plays it short side and maybe not the right option. There are numbers out the left edge. This is a darting run, gets the little offload to Lu Chan. He'll take it through himself. If he can get the pass away, they'll be threatening down the left side, and that's where they've got to go here at the moment, Onehunga. Late to retreat to Howick. A good chance for the boys from the bridge. That's the Maila Bridge I'm saying. A pop pass over the far side too. Back on the inside. Here's a grubber kick and looking for the bounce. It's still opportunity. The kicker gets the ball and he's up again and then down. He thinks he scored the try, but the referee will say not. That was some smart play.
Enterprising play from Onehunga there, and the thing that's making them a threat with the ball in hand is the offload game that they've got. They're not a structured side. They play really off-the-cuff rugby, but it's the offloads that are causing Howick some problems defensively.
And this is a big chance. Onehunga now close to the line. Solala with the football. Up on him, 2 Staples, wraps him up like a Christmas present and says, you won't be coming past me this time around. Whineanga Norfolk, dummy half. Now the carry for Leilua. And a wall of Howick defenders are there to halt Leilua in his tracks. 5 metres out from the try line now. Whineanga Norfolk, eyes darting, peels it up, and now the inside run, and the back rower charges at the line. Foul, and he can't get there. The ball's been knocked on. But hats off to Onehunga, who really gave themselves a chance, just couldn't quite finish off the move.
Onehunga showing what they need to do there in terms to remain in the game there. They need to get their hands on the football and really challenge Howick's defensive line. And they've got to keep up the offloads as well, because that's the threat there. The biggest threat for them in attack is when they offload the ball. Very similar to our Warriors, actually. So that's what Onehunga have got to keep doing.
It's your time.
Well, I hear the forecast for Saturday night in Sydney is rain, and it will be the tears of the Penrith supporters that will be providing it.
Yes, hopefully the Penrith Panthers will be about to start their end of season celebrations after this weekend.
Okay, well, let's hope that they do a little bit better than the Dogs, of course, in the papers for all the wrong reasons. Now it's Howick who have the ball, 10 metres out from their line. Well, they're really getting into their work now. Onehunga, the defenders, they know that they really have to keep Howick down. This end of the field.
Falling. Up for the 3.
Terrific game of rugby league here. 16-4, deserving. 3 tries to 1 so far for Howick.
Go full.
Just seen Tuaraki there do another big run there. He's been doing that all game, so well done to the young man.
Together now.
Nui Andrews just on the halfway line, final tackle. Look for Dre Roberts to send it downfield as well, using the wind to his advantage. Beautiful spiral punt, eludes all but the bounce swiftly into the hands of the Onehunga centre. He goes to ground 15 short of halfway, 20 in from the eastern touchline here. Leilua.
Together now, boys.
Little bunched at the moment, Onehunga.
Onehunga look tight at the moment, Dale.
2 replacements due to come on.
Up now, boys.
As soon as we say they look tired, the coach is getting them on, getting a couple of replacements, freshmen on the field, so great coaching there.
Toyoana in jersey number 10 is in, and so is Mika Taufa. He'll be on in 15 in just a tick. Onehunga. Meti.
Up for the final now, boys.
Just left Tamala, making the tackle on MJ Meti. So they've been guilty of unforced errors, really, Onehunga. Although there have been some mistakes.
6.
There's a lot of
7.
recognition and respect
Captains, please. 2,
across the
please.
schools. 2 captains being called out now. The 2 number 6s. Let's have a listen in.
Stop whatever you guys are trying to do, okay? There's a couple there I saw coming in. Drop those tackles down, okay?
Go back.
Okay? Yeah. Straight hand the ball here, boys.
Yeah, just acknowledging all the referees' efforts, not just at this tournament, but right across 2018.
Hey, oh! On the whistle. You two
Kevin
got to
Kent
get
there
closer.
just mentioning for the tackles to be kept down.
Thank you. That's it. Go.
Probably a sign of fatigue from both sets of players there after the long week of rugby league they've had.
That's fine. Away now!
Waiting his boarding pass to Troy Renata
Offside, offside.
from Howick. Good technique.
1, 2.
Penalty count's pretty stiff against Onehunga at the moment. Oh, what a shame, what a take. But the foot, sadly, on the line there for Siona Pautu.
Well, we're very unlucky there. Great initiative to try and catch that ball on the full and get his team out of jail, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to pull it off, and now Howick have a scrum.
Did all the good work, just a little bit undone. You got to look at the ball, but also look at your feet, I suppose. It's often not as easy as it sounds.
Let's go, boys. Don't worry about it.
So here we are with Howick now. You'd figure one hand on the trophy as we
Thank you, 19.
head towards
No,
the
Kian.
last 6 or so minutes of this game.
Yep. Thank you.
A very satisfying result for the players, of course, supporters, but also for Eva Lopati, who's at the helm of them. Francis Morrison again setting it up now. Don't discount the chance of another try from East Aucklanders as the ball goes down, and again the curse applied by me. Apologies there to Yore Alapaki. There's a lot to be done, and in double quick time too. If Onehunga are going to pull this one out of the fire.
I don't think that both sets of players will be in a rush to get this scrum packed. A lot of them are taking the big breaths here. So it's been a combination of a tough week of rugby league. They've only got 5 minutes to go, and that's the end of the 2018 National Secondary School Rugby League tournament for both sets of players. So hopefully they can finish it off strong.
Yeah, I guess more too, it might be the end of play proper for the season. Club footy and the like. There's a blood bin been called by the referee today. There was split lip or a blood nose, one or the other. Some running repairs that they sent on a replacement.
Shoelaces. Shoelaces, please. Shoelaces.
So the 11 is off, Solala. They're waiting for a replacement. Tomasi Taufa, no. I think they're going to play on with 12.
Only for severe injury.
Well, what's a bit of a hold up here at the moment. hats off. We've got just on 4 minutes to play. Some of your highlights as far as skills on show today, who's stood out for you most?
Dre Roberts has really stood out, just his decision making and just how he's managed to take the game by the scruff of the neck and control it at the crucial times of the game, especially in that second half. You know, he really started to get involved, you know, just put in those kicks that put Onehunga under pressure. So Dre Roberts has been the standout for me.
It's a windy old day here today, but hey, I'd walk up a mountain of broken glass to get to a footy game, and it's always been a pleasure to be in the commentary booth. So we can put up with a bit of wind.
Release him now!
Blustery, cold and raining last year, but it's still great fun to be calling the footy.
Roll away, 5!
12 out from the line. Something against the run of play would have to happen at the moment, because Howick have really dominated here. And right from the start of the second half, where they kicked into the corner, there was a mistake made, of course, as well, that resulted in a try. But then Roberts has kept Onehunga pinned for the most part of the half in their corner.
Onehunga's got to throw the kitchen sink.
Boys, I know we're
they haven't got
tired.
long to go, so they've just got to throw the kitchen sink, keep the offloads going that they've been doing all game, just to try and get some momentum and try and dent the Howick line, which has been pretty solid all afternoon.
Yes, it sure has. Solid defence there from Renata. And now Whineanga Norfolk.
Away now, 9!
He's on the halfway line.
One marker, one marker!
Got a bit of magic here. One out running won't get them there.
Wait!
Samika Dofa. And now the captain has been called out.
I mentioned Kevin Ken, the referee, receiving the tournament award for being the best referee during this tournament. I think he's got a very good final. He's controlled it well. He's communicated well to the players, and that's all you want as a player. You know, the ability to talk to the ref and for him to talk back and give you instruction and direction as well.
And he's been, you know, quick to make sure that they know why they're here. Flowing game, played in good spirit, celebrating the game of rugby league. That's what this tournament is all about. Onehunga now,
You have no excuse
pressure
now,
from the scoreboard.
Go.
In fact, they might have left their run just a little late, and I think they are close to accepting that this one's gone. Huda not too far away. 1.5 minutes. They've got to score 2 tries. They won't do that. Mikatofa with the football.
Yes, it doesn't quite look like Onehunga will replicate their success from 2016, but they've had a very good tournament this year, and hopefully we can see them again next season.
Some outstanding individual performances, and more so, I guess, than the skipper, who's been steering this team around with great skill.
Yes, Turaki's had a fantastic game, so is Alapaki. But just the skipper, Dre Roberts, has really pulled the strings quite nicely for his team.
Well, he gets the ball in his hands more than any other player, and therefore has a chance to dictate a lot of aspects of the game. And ably assisted. I'm pleased that you picked out Turaki too, because I think he's had a wonderful game. The back rower likewise. Very impressed as well with Thomas Staples in the fullback role.
Yes, he's been very outstanding. And early in the game, early in the first half, he had some opportunities. And then I think Onehunga have just not kicked to him, so he hasn't had the same amount of opportunities, but he stands out in this headgear and also in his performance today.
Number 4.
Well, counting it down to full time. The hooter will go in just a moment. This has been the National Secondary Schools Development Grade Final. Try early on to one of the guys who perhaps deserves a mention too. That's Darius Hignett Morgan. A very talented rake and distributor.
Sorry, my bad. Thank you.
The final plays coming up here. We're not too far away from the end of the game now.
As broadcasters, we run our own clock, but it's not necessarily synced up completely with the match management. We can't be too far away.
Not involved.
Solid performance here from Howick College. Former Warrior and Kiwi International Ivar Ropati coaching. And some success. Nice little pop pass there from Falala.
Release him now!
He's tried to do some good things today. Here he comes again, one of our favourites, Māori carve-up, Too Lucky.
Up for the 4, boys.
Big and powerful. Here he comes again, Dre Roberts, with that familiar spin when he hits the D-line. Alapaki to dummy half, into the end goal. A mistake would be costly. In the end, it ends up with Onehunga, and across field he goes. They've got nothing to lose here. They might as well have a game, but it's been knocked on in the end goal, and we'll play on, says the referee.
Great play there, great enterprising play. It brings a smile to my face seeing the young men have a go there in this try line. I don't think it would have brought a smile to the coach's face though.
Here's a bit of a run from Onehunga, and a powerful run as well from Tasiwe Leilua, who charged towards the try line, and Leilua's in to score underneath the post. Great result there for Onehunga, who get one back.
Great run there from Leilua. He really pinned his ears back and they had a go right on the hooter too.
There, I'm picking it'll be converted. They're going to bother about it. Look at the run though. Tasiwe Leilua gets hold of the football and he is away. The Howick chases, well, they recognise that he's got wheels and speed to burn. And away he goes despite a desperate effort and a flying effort as well from Colt Shepherd.
The way Leilua was running there, he could play another week of rugby league, so well done to the young man.
Absolutely well done to all of them. They can take the kick, but this one I'm waiting on here to wrap it up officially. Perhaps they'll get a ball and maybe even a drop kick. With disappointment for the Onehunga players, obviously they would have liked to have enjoyed the success of a victory, but it wasn't to be today. Howick too strong, and they win the development grade here at the National Secondary Schools Rugby League Finals. The kick is successful. And there we have your scoreline as well. 10 points for Onehunga High School. 16-10, full-time score. It's Howard College who get the win here at Bruce Pullman Park in Takanini, South Auckland. Let's go down to Monty and get some reaction from that game.
Well, Dre, congratulations on the win, but also congratulations on Player of the Day, and you received that medal. How does that make you feel, mate?
No, it's good. You know, us boys, we've been working hard. You know, we only got together probably about 2-3 weeks ago. But our main goal here was just to come compete, have fun. We never knew that we'd make the final, but we're here. And, you know, just thank you to our coaching staff, to all our fans that come out. And just to the boys, without them, none of this is possible.
Well, not only did you make the final, but you won the final. What does that mean to Howard College?
No, it's massive. We're not known as a rugby league school, but hopefully we've put Howick on the map for rugby league. Hopefully our boys in the next few years follow through with us, and hopefully we'll be in the Prims grade coming up these following years. But no, it's an honour to be representing Howick today.
Talk to me about this week-long experience, a great tournament put on by New Zealand Rugby League. What's the takeaway for you personally?
For me, it's just, you know, recovery. Recovery was a big thing this week. My body was aching every single game, but no, yeah, recovery's a big thing. Yeah.
That medal will make that aches feel better, mate. Go and enjoy.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, he was a standout performer there, Dre Roberts, and lots to like about his game. You're a standoff as well. When you look at the skills he displayed in the final and the potential he obviously carries, where do you think the most improvement for him will come from, Monty?
I think physically, you know, he's that's where his big development will come from, because he showed some signs that, you know, mentally and, you know, he can get a team around the park and choose the right options. So, you know, some of these young men, you know, they haven't had much time in the gym. You know, they haven't been exposed to any high performance systems. So, you know, that's what a lot of these young men will get in future years. But by what I saw today, I liked his decision making just as a way to get his team around the park.
I enjoyed working with you. It's great to have you back in New Zealand, and of course with your new role as the high performance manager for New Zealand Rugby League, but obviously too the experience you have from playing footy and being an administrator was very welcome in the commentary position. I enjoyed working with you. I hope you enjoyed being a commentator there for a short time today.
I did, and I thank you for your guidance. You know, I've heard that voice so many times. It was nice to put a face to the name and the voice.
Thanks so much. Motu Tony with us today, a real pleasure. Thank you for tuning in too. We'll have presentations and the like coming up in a moment. We'll take a little break here from Bruce Pullman Park.
Find your touchy, boys.